Listen, people, if you can't earn the trust of your prospect or your client, not only will you lose the transaction, but you'll lose the relationship. And hey, I don't know about you, but for me, relationship currency is everything in business and life. And that's exactly why in today's video, we're going to unpack one very specific and tangible way to build trust with your customers without being salesy, manipulative, or violating your values. You feel me? Okay, so without further wait, let's get into it. Okay, get this. Earlier this morning, I was doing some research for this video and I stumbled upon this old school survey from HubSpot back in 2016, and it found that only 3% of people found salespeople to be trustworthy. Meanwhile, 49% trust doctors, 12% trust accountants, and 10% trust professional musicians, which, I mean, I don't know what that has to do with anything, you feel me? But anyway, one word, wild. Because the group of people just below salespeople at the 1% mark were politicians, stockbrokers, and lobbyists. Anyway, listen, has things changed much for salespeople over the past 8 years? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'll let you decide. But here's one thing I know for sure. In order to win the sale, you need to win the relationship. When I say win, meaning make it a win-win scenario for both people. And one way to do that is by earning trust. So here's one very tangible way to do exactly that. Around a decade ago, I remember walking onto the trading floor at Citibank one morning where I used to work in corporate sales over in London, and feeling this sense of inner peace and calm because nobody was in, okay? Nobody was in. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read what happened in the markets overnight in Asia. I'm going to get ahead. I'm going to make sure I'm prepared for the day. So I press print, and as I walk over to the printer, I walk past my mentor's desk, and I walk past my mentor's desk every single day, about 5 to 10 times a day. But today was different. Nobody was in, and there were 3 sticky notes which caught my eye. And as I walked over, I pulled one of them closer to me, and it said something I'll never forget, man. It said this. It said, tell them something they didn't know before they spoke to you. Tell them something they didn't know before they spoke to you. Which in hindsight was genius, because what he was trying to say was, when you're speaking to the C-suite, when you're speaking to senior business leaders who may have decades more experience than you, your job is to highlight blind spots, which result in a meaningful and consultative conversation. Now, I didn't really fully understand that and embody that in the moment, but looking back, that is exactly what he meant. And that's the foundation for what I teach today when it comes to the trusted advisor message. Okay, now let me show you what this actually looks like in practice. In 2023, I remember speaking to the chief revenue officer of a SaaS company headquartered in Singapore. Now, the context of this conversation was figuring out if there was alignment in me partnering with his team to teach them the art of storytelling so they can better connect with their customers and win more deals. Now, a couple of minutes into the conversation, I remember saying something along the lines of, hey, by the way, would you be opposed to hearing about 3 market trends that I'm seeing right now, specifically for chief revenue officers in the SaaS space? And by the way, I would love to hear your perspective and also to see if I've missed anything. And he was like, yeah, man, go for it. So what I then did was share 3 very specific and succinct market insights of chief revenue officers who are either my clients or prospects who I've spoken to or peers, and explain the problems that they were also having using the same language that he uses to describe his problem and also where he wants to be in the future. And then I closed off with providing my unique perspective on what I believe is going to happen in the market over the next 6 to 12 months. And then just finished off with a very simple, thoughtful question like, hey, was there anything specific that resonated with you the most, rather? And he was like, yeah, actually this. And he pulled it from my conversation, and then he started talking about it, provided his perspective, and we went into the problems that we wanted to solve for his team. Now, here's what happened. Not only did I win the deal, but I also won the relationship that day. We ended up partnering together because of this. That trusted advisor message facilitated a consultative and meaningful conversation. Why? Because I was able to connect with him, because I used the exact same language that he uses to describe his pains and desires. Number 2, I showcased a positive story about my character because I came to the conversation well researched. And as I say, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And finally, because I was able to have a business conversation, I wasn't seen as an entrepreneur or a salesperson. I was seen as somebody just like him. And because we had a business conversation around business outcomes, I was able to signal competence. And hey, here's why I'm telling you all of this. Yes, this may sound a little clunky, but if you break it down, it's just 3 simple steps, okay? Ask for permission to share 3 simple market insights. Share 3 simple market insights. And finally, end with a thoughtful question. And when you do this right, not only will it earn trust, but it will pave the way for a meaningful conversation and for you to be perceived as a trusted advisor. In summary, without trust, every business relationship is doomed for failure. And in a world obsessed with AI, automation, and scale, people are craving intimacy, connection, and meaningful conversation. And hey, one way to do that is by sharing a trusted advisor message in your conversation so you can spark a consultative conversation. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, then stay with me. Hit the subscribe button. And also on the right-hand side screen here, you'll see a video of how to authentically build relationships in business without being fake. That's the next stop for you. All right, peace. I'll see you on the other side.